right. Good afternoon. Welcome to the new Board of Selectmen meeting for the term 2023-2027. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. So would you like to lead us in the Pledge of
Allegiance to
the flag?
the United States to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. So I call the roll. Selectwoman Brenda Kupchik is here. Selectwoman Christine Vitale. Myself, Bill Gerber. So the first item is to hear a resignation from the Golf Commission, Christine Hogan, 48 Thornhill Road. He has resigned in order to she was elected to the ZBA. And I just want to, this is for informational purposes, I want to thank Christine for her service. The next item, item number 4, is just a informational item. Very happy to announce that I've appointed Phil Piers of Cohen and Wolf to serve as town attorney for the town of Fairfield. Phil Piers, the term is starting today through November 27th. The next item is to hear and consider the Fairfield Fire Department Chief Emergency Management Director to give the authority to sign off on certain documents. I'll read the resolution. The Fairfield Fire Department Chief Emergency Management Director requires RTM approval. Resolved that the town of Fairfield and its Board of Selectmen and representative town meeting may enter into with and deliver to the State of Connecticut Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection, Division of Emergency Management and Homeland Security, any and all documents which it deems to be necessary or appropriate. And further resolved that William A. Gerber, First Selectman of the town of Fairfield, is authorized and directed to execute and deliver any and all documents on behalf of the town of Fairfield, its Board of Selectmen and Fairfield Representative Town Meeting, and to do and perform all acts and things which he deems to be necessary or appropriate to carry out the terms of such documents, including but not limited to executing and delivering all agreements and documents contemplated by such documents. Do I have a motion? Second. Selectman Kupchik. Any comments or?
By way of brief background, we're very proud of the emergency management team that we have in Fairfield. It served the town very well in times of crises, most particularly during COVID, but weather events occur regularly that we activate the team to some degree or another. And you have, as First Selectman, the entire team available to you to manage all of the subsequent issues that come up during those crises, whether it's trees down, roads closures, flooding, or things like we just went through with COVID. From time to time, there are documents that need your signature, and instead of having to come back to the full Board of Selectmen, the state approves and authorizes the board to give you authority to sign those documents. There are 3 particular areas of interest. One, we receive $34,000 a year in Homeland Security funds to offset our salaries and the operation of the emergency management team. So those quarterly disbursements from the state have to be authorized by you. So we bring those to your attention on a quarterly basis so we can get reimbursement from the state. Second, we participate in an urban area security initiative, which paid for the backbone of the radio system that the police department and fire department will now be joining. And you may recall that that's come before the RTM when you served there. And that has been something we've been working on since 2006 or 7, developing the statewide radio system, which now we will be part of. And lastly, we participate in the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection, Division of Emergency Management and Homeland Security, and the Regional Emergency Planning Team, which meets, our region is Stratford to Greenwich and one town in from the coast essentially. And we get funding $2.5 to $3 million every year to support programs, projects, and equipment that service all of the region on a mutual aid basis. So those are the 3 particular areas that will come to your attention and be authorized for you to sign if you approve this resolution.
Fantastic. Anyone have any comments or?
I would just say that Chief McCarthy has been absolutely stunning and exceptional as the emergency management director for the town of Fairfield through what I would arguably say was the worst public health crisis we had faced in our town's history. And they do an amazing job, really coordinating everything we need, even things we have no idea we need, and making sure that everything is running correctly. So I just want to congratulate you for the hard work that you have done and also for making sure that everything is buttoned up and taken care of.
It's called a team for a reason.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you, though.
Yeah.
Echo Ms. Kupchik's thanks to the emergency management team. We worked closely with them through the pandemic, through the Board of Ed. It was very much a community partnership and look forward to supporting your efforts moving forward. Of course, we hope we don't have those type of emergencies, but it's nice to know that you are there and ready to serve our community when needed.
And what I would hope is that between now and the end of the year, we can find an hour and a half of your time to have the full team gather at the police department, which is the Emergency Operations Center, and each of the members of the emergency management team, which are pretty much all the operating departments, brief you on what their roles are and how they approach those roles in the mission. I think that would be very helpful for you because you don't want to meet us for the first time in that room during a crisis.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, I'm really looking forward to doing that. I will do that this week if you want, as soon as possible. I think it's one of the more important things that I need to do to get as I'm getting acclimated to the job. So I'll leave it to you to, we'll schedule something as soon as possible.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other comments or questions? Ready to vote?
For comment.
Public have any comment? Okay, seeing none, ready to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. All, it's unanimous. Thank you very much, Chief. Okay. Next item is item number 6. Chief Fiscal Officer Jared Schmidt, to hear, consider, and act upon a resolution approving the transfer of fiscal year 2022-2023 revenue surplus. Resolved that the town hereby authorizes, approves, and directs the transfer of the fiscal year 2022-2023 revenue surplus as follows. The portion of the fiscal year 2022-2023 surplus resulting from actual revenue amounts that were more than budgeted revenue amounts, in parentheses, revenue surplus, quote unquote, shall be appropriated to the debt reserve account. Motion to approve. Ms. Vitale, Ms. Kupchik, any public comments? We're going to hear from Jared Schmidt, CFO.
I'm going to give the background for this and also to remind you, if you weren't aware, this went through the Board of Selectmen once, went to the Board of Finance, was amended in the Board of Finance, and so it has to come and was substantial. So it has to come back to the Board of Selectmen. So this is the second round here. So with the surplus from 23 or any year, there's always a revenue and a spending component to it. The spending component, so if we have a situation where we spent less than what was budgeted, that spending surplus gets dealt with at the Board of Finance. It's already been appropriated, so you're not dealing with anything new. It'll be a matter of the Board of Finance deciding how that money gets transferred. The revenue part of the surplus is different because it's, we're taking in more revenue than what was budgeted, and that money has not been dealt with by any body. And so it's in a sense kind of like a mini budget, and it has to go through all three bodies, through the Board of Selectmen, Board of Finance, RTM. So the revenue surplus portion of it, the total surplus for 23 was 9.8 million. The spending surplus was 4 million, and the revenue surplus was 5.8 million. When we came to the Board of Selectmen and what was presented to the Board of Finance for the revenue surplus, we had divided this up into three pieces. It's going to a debt service reserve account to be determined what's going to happen to that money. Part of it was scheduled to go toward the fund balance to keep us at the level that 11.75% of the overall budget fund balance at that level. And then another part of it, we had slated $2 million to go into paving. Got to the Board of Finance, they didn't want to commit to putting that money into paving at the time. And so it's really going to two places now. It's either going to the debt service account or to fund balance. Because the Board of Selectmen is only dealing with the revenue surplus in this case, what this amendment is doing and the way it was passed out of the Board of Finance was that the entire $5.8 million revenue surplus, the debt service reserve account. So at a point in the future, the Board of Finance can act on that funding, the $5.8 million, and decide it's when to go. And so that's what this amendment is doing. Act upon at a later date.
Thank you, Mr. Schmidt. I'm familiar with this item from the past discussions. Any comments? Seeing none, anyone from the public want to comment on this? Seeing none, may I motion to approve? So moved. Seconded by Ms. Kupchak. So all in favor say aye. So it's unanimous. Thank you. Motion to
Just bring up one little recommendation. So I was thinking about this morning, we had 4 years ago changed the regular scheduled Board of Selectmen meeting dates from the typical Wednesday, which they've always were, to Monday to accommodate Selectman Flynn's work schedule. And it was brought to my attention, we should probably go back to what always was, just the way the timing was, because it did disrupt some things with the other boards and things. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. That might be when setting the calendar. I'm not sure if that'll be the next meeting or not, setting the calendar for the upcoming year, but just wanted to bring that up.
And may I ask, it used to be 5 o'clock or 4?
No, it was always 4.
It was always 4?
But it was Wednesdays, and we changed it to accommodate Mr. Flynn's work schedule at the time.
I mean, we've had some comments that some people would like it later as well in the afternoon. I don't know what the issues with that was.
It's always been at 4 because I think as a consideration to our employees who haven't come many times and present, and sometimes we have very long meetings and they could really go quite late if we didn't start earlier.
Okay. So I'm not sure if that's on the agenda for next month.
Yeah, I
but it
wasn't sure. I just wanted to
Probably would be.
bring it up.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
So moved, unanimous, we're adjourned.